Welcome to another episode of Beyond Blueprints, and today on the show we have architect Gyanendra Shekhawat from Ideas Jaipur. Welcome, sir, to the show.
Thank you.
It's been an absolute pleasure having you here today. Gyanendra ji is a phenomenal architect. He is big into wildlife. He loves traveling. He has a passion for food, and he has a unique work culture. Just love this whole conversation. There's so much content in it, and I'm sure you're going to love it too. If you like this content, don't forget to press the like, subscribe, and share button. And look forward to more great content on Beyond Blueprints. पहले start करते हैं आपके life journey के साथ. So, how did you get into architecture, and then how over the years you've built up this wonderful practice, but through childhood के बारे में and how you came into architecture.
So, when I was in school, actually, I wanted to be a dentist. I wanted to be into hotel management. I wanted to be in army at some moment of time because I studied in Sainik School, Chittor.
Okay.
So I wanted to be in army also because in Sainik School, you are basically taught to be an officer in the army.
Right.
And then few other things also came into my mind. But fortunately, I had maths and bio both in my class 12, plus 2. And I had no knowledge about architecture. I mean, architecture was like music to me. In the notes of music, actually, I would say. But my father is a civil engineer. He's a civil engineer. He passed out from BITS Pilani.
Right.
Civil engineering and architecture, a little bit correlated. I would say a little bit, not much. But he knew a little bit about architecture. So I think I would say it is all because of my father who introduced this particular field to me. He only told me this is a nice field, I think. And I think he being into civil engineering, he knew the prospects, future prospects of architecture, being an architect. So that is the reason I got into, because of my persuasion from my father,
Right.
I got into architecture and I studied architecture.
You've been a teacher, and then you left teaching and you decided to, either you were teaching and doing professionally, काम भी कर रहे थे, you were doing both together, and then you let go of the teaching side and focused purely on your practice. From your teaching days, one question I have is, how is the requirement for education of young architects needs to change in India? And what were the challenges that you faced as a teacher?
I think now these are two questions I would take one by one.
Huh.
One is how was my experience there? I would first like to talk about it.
Yeah, please.
So when I came to Jaipur, it was in the year 1999 after completing my master's. And immediately I got this job in Malvi Regional Engineering College. Now it is NIT. It is converted into NIT, the National Institute of Technology. So I got a position as the faculty in Department of Architecture there. So best time I had in my life, I would say, when I was doing my architecture. And second best time when I was teaching there.
Right.
Because I used to be with fellow architects, fellow faculty members, like 10, 15 of us. 5, 7 of them were of my age because we were selected at one date. So we were like in the same batch. So as we were in the school and the college, I mean, after the class, we used to be in canteen. We were in our canteen or in class. Either we were in studio or we were in the canteen. We were having, must party time, chilling in the canteen. जैसे हम कॉलेज में करते थे, so that was best time. I mean, no tension, nothing. But what happened? The market was growing, the city was growing. I got into that kind of rasta, and then in 2006, 5-6, I got into teaching in 99, और 6-7 साल बाद, I think 2005 में या 6 में, I realized that I am not able to concentrate on my practice as well. I'm not able to concentrate on my students. I'm not able to give them enough time actually. So I decided that मेरे को ये दो नाव में तब नहीं चलना है. And then I decided to quit education, and I resigned from there. And then after that I started concentrating on my practice.
You've also had a lot of impact in the architectural community in Rajasthan in India. You've been the president of the IIA, Indian Institute of Architects. Um, little bit about that experience, and I think you had a very long
So
tenure
yeah,
working
so
in that
when I
organization.
passed out of SPA after my masters, I joined MREC, as I told you. So my professor and head at that moment of time was the chairman of the Indian Institute of Architect Rajasthan chapter. So my boss was the chairman, and I was a young boy as junior most lecturer.
Huh.
So I was working for the government, but I was also working for my boss, who's the chairman of the IIA Rajasthan chapter. So because of that particular uh, style of working, I got into IIA heavily. And I think 99 onwards, I've been into IIA. I was there on almost all the positions of IIA Rajasthan chapter. I was a normal member, executive member, secretary, treasurer, vice chairman, and then chairman. So, and then I also went to the National Council as the honorary treasurer. So this is something which is, and Rajasthan chapter 2 was a new chapter at that moment of time. It has just started, I think 97 or 98 it has started, Rajasthan chapter. So we were in the primitive stage of growing, and we really did some wonderful work, and the community is very good. I mean, the fraternity in Rajasthan, especially in Jaipur, all the architects, they are so cohesive, they are so one in nature. I mean, they are like very friendly and very cooperative. So I really enjoyed being in IA, and we had some of the best programs, and we did a lot of projects and programs together with all our team.
You did some work in Congo.
We are doing few projects
We're
in
doing
Congo.
few
Yeah,
projects in Congo.
Congo portfolio is a recent addition to our practice.
तो सर पहले कॉन्गो कहाँ से पहुँचे?
Okay, so we were interested by a client of Jaipur, who was a very big time builder, and we've been working with them from last 20 years. They were doing a big, large scale mixed use project in Jaipur. So landowner is a NRI basically, and was based out of Congo. And through that particular project, he noticed us, and then he invited us to Congo, and he's also a builder there. So like that, seeing our work, and he invited us to be part of that Congo project, and then we completed two projects, and now we're doing two major big projects for that particular builder.
Challenges of working in Africa?
See, with this globalization and all this IT and everything, I think a person sitting in US can work in Australia, somebody sitting in Hong Kong can work in Dubai. So I think it's not a task anymore. I mean, we have done projects in Jammu, we've done projects in Srinagar, we're doing projects in Goa and other cities of Rajasthan also. So I think it's just another project, but yes, definitely we had to understand the local bylaws, we had to understand the local climatic conditions, and that is that is the research we always do for any project. I mean, when we're doing a project in Goa, we also did research on Goa and their terrain and how the typology of a site is. So it's just another project, but yes, it's a skyscraper. We are doing two major projects there, which is going to change the skyline of Kinshasa, the capital of Congo. So that's interesting.
Anything different when you build a high-rise residential building there? And I'm assuming this is residential in Congo.
Yeah, one is mixed use, one is residential.
So in terms of how the space, every culture has a very different, unique way of how they mingle with each other, how the spaces are created. Any insights that you found?
So Congo, very interestingly, it used to be a French colony long back. Their thought process a little bit French, little bit European, but they are still by core Congo people. So what is different there? We would design in a condominium, in a flat, we would design the common area to be opened by the bedroom. I mean, connected with the bedroom. Here, the bedroom should not be visible from the living area. I mean, the living area has to be in one corner.
Oh, really?
And then you have to have a gallery, and in that gallery you would have all the bedrooms. So bedroom needs to be very private. So this is something which is very
Very interesting.
Though we've seen this kind of projects in Bombay earlier. In Bombay, it used to be like that. There used to be a corridor planning, all the rooms. But generally in Delhi and other cities, you would see, especially in the Indian context, you would see the single living room, big, huge living room in the center, and all the bedrooms around it.
Yeah, so
that you are
family,
connected. All the family can come and chill. Huh. So this is not the case there. The living room is on one side of it, and the bedrooms has to be one side. So the living room, you have to walk up to your bedroom. You should not be seeing the bed from the living room.
Very interesting.
Yeah. They have this kind of, and then they always want a small vestibule before entering the living room, so that you are not also. They are a little bit, I think, a little bit private in that sense. The privacy is, I think, for them, a little bit more important. So we're taking care of that.
You referenced your love for wildlife. You also referenced that you don't, while you do a lot of urban projects, your passion is to do something on the wildlife, especially on the hospitality side. But there's always an environmental impact in the way cities are coming up now, and we can see the water crisis across our country, as in every city is now facing it. The water tables are going down. So environmentally, how is ideas in your practice? What are you trying to do that protects the environment a little bit? How are you bringing that into your practice?
This is very interesting, I tell you. In Rajasthan, you might have heard of bawdis.
Haji.
And these bawdis used to be stepped wells where water from whatever rainfall they had used to be collected. And they were wells also, and water also used to collect from the rains. It used to be, and then it used to be a meeting place where all the inhabitants of that particular neighborhood or that village used to come together, chill, interact. So water, bawdis, so you would see those the architecture of bawdis. Still, we've got few bawdis left, and government have been doing few works to restore those bawdis. So bawdis used to be a place where celebrations used to happen. And even in the old houses and havelis of Rajasthan, you would see old water tanks where water used to be kept, the rainwater used to be kept properly. And that then after the monsoon time, the rainwater was used for drinking purpose. So water in this part of the country, Rajasthan especially, has been very special. It is very, very important. And where the water is used to be a celebratory space.
Right.
So what I take it that way, I understand in that way, water always used to be celebrated. क्योंकि एक खेती जो बाजरे की यहाँ होती है वो बरसात से होती है, और पानी को टांके में भर के रखा जाता था जिससे वो 12 महीने चले, पीने को काम आए. तो पानी हमारे लिए हमेशा से इम्पॉर्टेंट रहा है, स्पेशली राजस्थान के लिए, क्योंकि हमें पानी हमेशा से कम मिला है. वी डू नॉट हैव पेरेनियल रिवर्स जो 12 महीने चले. We would have rivers which are khali, ठीक है. In time of monsoon, there will be water. Definitely after this Indira Gandhi Canal and this canal system, water has come from Punjab on the northern part of Rajasthan. But water has always been scarce and important to conserve. Now, how do we practice in our daily design practice? We have decided that we will definitely not allow any rain water to go out of the project. Now we are making it mandatory, and we design in such a way the whole rainwater is recharged to the ground. Because recharging is the only effort which would benefit, and there have been really tangible efforts by the government also, I would say, and there have been instances where water table has grown again, it's come up. So we make sure in our design projects there is no rainwater which is going out. We try and conserve, we try and put back to Mother Earth. We try and recharge it.
Gyanendra ji, you are very clear in the type of standard you want in your project, that from environmental perspective, I'm sure from materials perspective, design perspective. A lot of time clients have, I'm sure must be coming to you with very weird, uh, I won't say weird, but very different type of requests which don't necessarily meet up with your value system. तो उस सिचुएशन में आप क्या करते हो?
एक बड़ा इंटरेस्टिंग एग्जांपल बताता हूँ. आई मेट ए क्लाइंट who wanted to do a school.
Okay.
And he wanted a small pool outside each and every class.
Okay.
And his idea was कि यार बच्चे बाहर निकलें और पूल में पैर डाल के बैठ जाएं.
हाँ.
मुझे समझ में आ रहा था कि what he was trying to mean.
Yeah.
He wanted water to be seen and not enjoyed physically. I mean, that was the difference he was.
Yeah.
And he wanted to do a school which is altogether different than what is a normal hardcore school is all about.
Right.
तो क्या होता है कि as an architect, you have to hear to your client, you have to understand his philosophy and then use your experience and your knowledge about creating that space that he is satisfied and the ultimate aim of the project or the building is also met. तो वही रोल इम्पॉर्टेंट है. अगर कोई क्लाइंट चैलेंज लेके आता है, जैसे हमारे कुछ क्लाइंट्स ऐसे वो कहते हैं यार आई डू नॉट वांट वेरी गॉडी कलर्स इन माय गेस्ट रूम्स. आई मीन फॉर एग्जांपल वो हमारे एक हॉस्पिटैलिटी के क्लाइंट है. ही डजंट वांट गॉडी कलर्स, ही वांट वेरी सटल. बट यू नो आजकल जब फोटो खींचते हैं और जब आप उसको वेबसाइट पर डालते हो, इट हैज टू बी लिटिल बिट फ्लैशी, यू नो. दैट कलर्स इन इंटीरियर्स इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. तो व्हाट वी विल डू, हम उसका सब कुछ बहुत सिंपल बनाएंगे, बट मान लो कुशन कलरफुल कर दिए या उसका रनर बेड का कलरफुल कर दिया.
So something stands out.
Something. So point is every client has his, every educated client these days would have a vision. आप भी अपना घर बनाएंगे, आपका विजन होगा कि यार मैं बाहर आके सुबह बैल्कनी में बैठूँ मेरी बीवी के साथ, वहीं पे बैठ के कॉफ़ी पीऊँ, और ब्रेकफास्ट मेरी इच्छा हो तो मैं अंदर लूँ, ब्रेकफास्ट मेरा इच्छा हो तो बाहर आके लूँ.
Right.
अखबार मुझे पढ़ना है तो मैं बैल्कनी में पढ़ूँ. हाँ, बट ऐसा भी नहीं हो कि मुझे बाहर से रोड पर से कोई देखे, क्योंकि आई एम ए प्राइवेट पर्सन, आई एम सिटिंग इन माई बर्मुडाज और इन माई वेस्ट, आई डोंट वांट पीपल टू सी मी. तो आपको बेसिकली क्लाइंट का जो थॉट है विद अपने एक्सपीरियंस उसको मैच करना, आई थिंक दैट इज इम्पॉर्टेंट एंड दैट इज द रोल ऑफ एन आर्किटेक्ट एंड अ डिज़ाइनर. आई वुड से कि यू आर एबल टू स्टिल डू जस्टिस बट you are still involving the client. Because ultimately he is the one who's going to live there. He is the one who is paying for it, and he is the one. उसको भी एक एस्पिरेशन है अपने प्रोसेस में इन्वॉल्व होने. वो बहुत पुराने ज़माने ख़त्म हो गए कि अब आप कर दो और आपने एक प्रोडक्ट बना के दे दिया, अभी क्लाइंट को बस वो मानना ही है. या नो एवरी क्लाइंट नो ट्रैवल, हर आदमी ट्रैवल करता है, हर आदमी को मालूम है कि मुझे क्या बनाना. तो आई थिंक वो चैलेंज है और आपको उसको सही तरीके से वापस उसको देना चाहिए.
What does the next 10-15 years for ideas look like? What are the type of projects that you would want to do more of?
Post-COVID, we are definitely enjoying this hospitality segment. I think another 10-15 years, we really want to work on this hospitality segment. And given the opportunity, we would like to work on the sustainable tourism master plans of certain cities, of certain areas.
Someone who's had the most impact in your life, either professionally or personally, who you look up to the most or who's inspired you the most?
Not one person, I would say.
Okay, a few people who have inspired you the most.
Initially, 2 or 3 of my professors in my undergraduate also and my graduate course also, 1 or 2 my professors also really impacted my life. 1 or 2 professors, Professor Pote and Professor Tavde from my school in architecture, and from School of Planning and Architecture, I was like kind of very impressed and influenced by Professor Veena Garela, who was my thesis guide also, and Kavas Kapadia. So
Anything specific that stood out?
My undergraduate Professor Pote, he introduced me to how to handle space, how to uh, perceive design.
Okay.
See, architecture cannot be taught. It has to be learnt. It's very clear. कितना भी इंटेलिजेंट लड़का हो 12th में 97% मार्क्स हो, वो आर्किटेक्चर बड़ा आर्किटेक्ट बनेगा पॉसिबल नहीं है. 50% वाला बच्चा बन सकता है, क्योंकि आर्किटेक्चर इज नेवर टॉट. इट हैज़ टू बी लर्नड, इट हैज़ टू बी अंडरस्टूड. वो सब तो टीचर्स विल ओनली गिव यू टूल्स, टीचर्स विल ओनली टेल यू द रास्ता. वो चलना आपको ही पड़ेगा. मतलब हमारे यहाँ पे 1+1 2 नहीं है. इट्स ए बेसिकली आर्टिस्ट वर्क कि आप कितना अच्छा परसीव कर पाते हो, आप कितना अच्छा आपका परसेप्शन है, और उसको आप कैसे उतार पाते हो अपने ख्यालों को. सो दिस इज़ व्हाट डिज़ाइनिंग ऑफ स्पेस इज़ ऑल अबाउट. तो वो मुझे बहुत अच्छा समझ में आया मेरे अंडर ग्रेजुएट में, जो मैंने बताया प्रोफेसर पोटे से. और जब मैं मास्टर्स में था तो प्रोफेसर वीना गरेला जो मेरी गाइड थी, शी टोल्ड मी एंड शी इंड्यूस दैट सेंसिटिविटी इन मी कि कैसे ह्यूमन वैल्यूज़ को आर्किटेक्चर और प्लानिंग के अंदर इनकॉर्पोरेट किया जाता है. हाउ इम्पॉर्टेंट इज़ दैट. तो वो ह्यूमन वैल्यूज़ जो समझ में आई, वो समझ में आई वहाँ से.
मिस्टेक दैट हैपेंड, एंड उस मिस्टेक से आप कैसे निकले, या क्या उससे सीख मिली? लाइक समथिंग सो दैट एक्चुअली जो स्टूडेंट्स या यंगर जनरेशन है ना, वो उस गलती को अवॉइड करे.
Mistake, I would not say mistake, I would say a regret I would have in my life, and I have already told couple of times in this discussion earlier also that I never got a chance to work in a bigger office. As I told you, when I came out, just completed my master's degree, I got into teaching, so that was my office. So teaching college was my office actually. So it was, and I never pursued teaching. मैंने वहीं छोड़ दिया 2006 में, और मैंने प्रैक्टिस चालू कर दी मेरा ऑफिस. सो मुझे एक रिग्रेट ये लगता है कि मैं उस टाइम जयपुर में बहुत बड़े ऑफिस थे भी नहीं, एंड आई डिड नॉट वांट टू गेट आउट ऑफ जयपुर बिकॉज आई लव्ड एंड मिस्ड जयपुर. और मैं बाहर पढ़ा, तो जब मैं बाहर पढ़ा, जयपुर में नहीं पढ़ा, तो जब मैं जयपुर वापस आया तो आई थॉट ऑफ नॉट नेवर लिविंग जयपुर अगैन. It's a beautiful city. I mean, I'm so fond of Jaipur actually. So मुझे बड़े ऑफिस में काम करने का एक मौका नहीं मिला, तो वो मेरा एक रिग्रेट है.
बट उसको तो आपने किसी तरीके से कॉम्पनसेट कर लिया ना.
कॉम्पनसेट वो मैंने मेरे हिसाब से किया है. वो मेरी टीम बता सकती है कि वो कॉम्पनसेशन ठीक है या नहीं है, पर हाँ मैं बिना कोई आइडियाज़ के था, इसमें कोई डाउट नहीं है. एज आई टोल्ड यू, मैंने कैसे मेरा ऑफिस स्टार्ट किया एंड व्हाट एनर्जी आई ब्रॉट इन, बिकॉज मैं एक घर में ऑफिस था तो घर की एनर्जीज़ को वहाँ लेके जा रहा था. और वो जो पेंट्री थी, ऑफिस में पेंट्री भी नहीं थी, कोई घर की किचन ही पेंट्री थी, तो चाय भी घर से ही बन के आती थी.
But Gyanendra ji, but my thing to you on that would be that had you gone to a larger scale office and वहाँ 2, 3, 4 साल काम किए होते, your point of view would have been very different.
I mean, I did not go, so I cannot answer. But हाँ, हो सकता है कि मैं एक set of ideas के साथ में चलता,
And is that
एक set of format के साथ में चलता. यहाँ पे बिना कोई एक format में मैंने काम किया, so maybe वो अच्छा है, पर ये मेरे को ऐसा मुझे लगता है कि मैं नहीं कर पाया. And this is what I tell my son also, कि you should, before joining this office, you should work somewhere, right, and try and see कि वहाँ पे कैसे काम होता है, so that he can understand the difference also.
What's the inspiration behind the name Ideas?
मैंने अभी पहले मेंशन किया था कि मैं मेरे एक प्रोफेसर पोटे जो हमारे डिज़ाइन के टीचर थे, उनसे मैं बड़ा इन्फ्लुएंस था, और उन्होंने मुझे समझाया कि डिज़ाइन को कैसे अप्रोच करना है. वो जब पढ़ाते थे तो उनकी छोटी सी प्रैक्टिस भी थी, और उस प्रैक्टिस का नाम आइडियाज़ था. जब हम लोग ग्रेजुएट हो रहे थे, उन्होंने कहा मैं बंद कर रहा हूँ, एंड आई एम स्टॉपिंग दिस थिंग प्रैक्टिस, एंड आई एम शिफ्टिंग टू पूना, और मैं वहाँ पे कोई अपना बिजनेस चालू करें. लेफ्ट आइडियाज़ ऑफिस उन्होंने अपना बंद कर दिया. मैंने कहा सर दिस आइडियाज़ विल कंटिन्यू इन जयपुर. वो आइडियाज़ नाम मेरे प्रोफेसर ने रखा था, और मैं उस आइडियाज़ को लेके जयपुर आया. और हमारा जो लोगो है बटरफ्लाई का जो है, वो भी ओरिजिनली उन्हीं से ही इंस्पायर्ड है. उनका भी लोगो आइडियाज़ का एक बटरफ्लाई था, और जिसको हमने थोड़ा ट्विक किया हमारे हिसाब से. सो आइडियाज़ बेसिकली मेरे प्रोफेसर ने कॉइन किया था नाम, मेरे जो गुरु थे उन्होंने कॉइन किया था. दो इज नो मोर प्रैक्टिसिंग आर्किटेक्चर, ही इज ए सक्सेसफुल बिजनेसमैन नाउ, बट ideas has come from there.
Wow, I mean, if you talk about true impact, this is what
Yes,
true impact is.
I would say that.
Are you in touch with him?
Very occasionally, since he is not into architecture. और उनके पास मेरे जैसे 10, 20, 25 स्टूडेंट्स होंगे. फॉर मी ही इज़ वन. वो कहते हैं ना, शिष्य गुरु को याद रखता है. ठीक है, ही नोज मी वेल, वी हार्डली मीट, पर होली, दिवाली और गुरु पूर्णिमा पे सर से दुआ सलाम हो जाता है, बट नॉट ऑन द रेगुलर बेसिस. दो आई हैव टोल्ड हिम दैट आई एम कंटिन्यूइंग हिज लेगेसी, हिज नेम.
दैट्स वंडरफुल. एक छोटी सी बात है. आई हैड अ स्मॉल इंटरेक्शन विद योर टीम बिफोर वी स्टार्टेड टॉकिंग, and they had some very interesting things to say. One of the common themes that came out was that they have a lot of fun at work, and they really look forward to coming to office. So can you describe in your own way the work culture that you've built at Ideas?
Actually, coincidentally, I never worked and was never trained in a big office. Immediately after completing my master's, as I told you, I got into sarkari naukri and I became a faculty in architecture, and then I immediately started my own office. So I never had that experience or I would say a particular path to walk on. So when I started, and I told you my office was in my house, so I always wanted my positive energy of the house, that cohesive energy of the house, go down to the office. घर की एनर्जी ऑफिस में जाए, दैट वॉज द आइडिया. एंड जब मैंने मेरा ऑफिस स्टार्ट किया, वी स्टार्टेड विद 1, 2, 3, स्लोली वी ग्रो टू दिस लार्ज ऑफिस. सो मेरा हमेशा से मानना था कि ऑफिस हैज़ टू परफॉर्म और वर्क लाइक ए स्मॉल फैमिली और ए बुटीक. बट व्हाट हैपेंस इन बुटीक? बुटीक हैपेंस में मदर काम कर रही है, बेटा काम कर रहा है, मदर काम कर रही है, बेटी काम कर रही है, यू नो, स्मॉल बुटीक ऑफ, आई मीन वी समटाइम्स यू टेल वी से ना, दिस इज स्मॉल बुटीक होटल. वो क्या होता है कि 20 कमरों की छोटी सी प्रॉपर्टी है, वो घर वाले उसको मैनेज कर रहे हैं, यू नो. दिस हैज बीन माय प्रिंसिपल इन रनिंग द ऑफिस.
And there's a special warmth.
Special warmth. You know that he is going to get married, or he is going around, he has a girlfriend, or this girl has this boyfriend, and they are going to get married. You would not believe, couple of years ago, and it has happened many times. I mean, the boy was liking a girl of his batch, but father was not allowing, or the family was. So the boy would come to me, can you tell my father, he would understand you. और मेरे साथ ऐसा हुआ है, एक बार नहीं कई बार. मैंने जाके मेरे फादर को बोला कि ये अच्छा बच्चा है, आप ऐसे मत करो, यू ग्रेस द ओकेजन, यू गिव योर ब्लेसिंग्स. एंड देव एग्रीड ऑन माई सेइंग, देव एग्रीड कि यार ये बोल रहे हैं तो मानना चाहिए अपने को. मैंने कहा करो आप. सो you would not believe it's, I mean, coincidence मानो या. Once a very inward looking boy from Kanpur working in my office, बड़ा पढ़ने वाला सा बच्चा, काम करता रहता है, 6, 6:30 बजे के बाद भी बैठता है, वेरी सिंसियर बॉय. मुझे लगता था यार ये बहुत सिंसियर बच्चा है. Once after office hours, I was going somewhere, I saw him sitting in a coffee shop with a girl. मैंने देख लिया बाहर से गाड़ी में ड्राइव. मैंने आई गॉट हैप्पी, मेरे को अच्छा लगा. मैंने दिस बॉय हैज़ गॉट दैट डायमेंशन ऑल्सो. मैंने अगले दिन उसको कंग्रेचुलेट किया. उसने कहा सैडली सर बात नहीं बनी है पर अभी. मैंने कहा चल कोई बात नहीं, यू ट्राई योर बेस्ट. सो मैं उस लेवल तक इन्वॉल्व रहता हूँ और आई एन्जॉइंग बीइंग देयर. आई इन्जॉय. किसको घर मिल रहा है क्या, किसी ने घर ले लिया है क्या, किसी को गाड़ी चाहिए क्या, कोई अपने आप को अपग्रेड करना चाह रहा, बाइक से छोटी गाड़ी, छोटी से बड़ी गाड़ी. सो मुझे अच्छा लगता है, मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि दिस इज़ माई फैमिली विच इज़ वांटिंग दिस, विच इज़ डूइंग दिस, एंड आई रियली फील प्राउड. तो बड़े कोहेसिवली हम रहते हैं ऑफिस में और कुछ चीज़ें करते हैं. जैसे हम लोग कई बार सैटरडेज को हम लोग पॉटलक कर लेंगे. सो एवरीबडी विल ब्रिंग डिफरेंट फूड विच इज़, एंड दे विल डू इट देमसेल्व्स. तो कोई पराठे ला रहा है और कोई इडली ला रहा है, और देन यहाँ पे विल डेकोरेट इन आर, जो हमारा लाउंज है 2nd फ्लोर पे, वहाँ पे हम डेकोरेट करके उसका पूरा पॉटलक करेंगे विद सम म्यूज़िक इन द बैकग्राउंड और समथिंग. कई बार हम लोग पिकनिक्स पे जाते हैं, कई बार हम लोग बाहर घूमने जाते हैं. वी ट्रैवल ऑल्सो टुगेदर, द होल ऑफिस वुड ट्रैवल टुगेदर. सो इस तरह से हम लोग कुछ चीज़ें वी कीप ऑन डूइंग. मेडिटेशन क्लासेस करते हैं हम लोग आपस में, योगा क्लासेस करते हैं. तो पीपल स्टे कनेक्टेड. मतलब वो कहते हैं ना, मज़ा आना चाहिए. मतलब सी आर्स इज एन आर्किटेक्ट्स ऑफिस. वी आर नॉट मशीन्स. हम अगर फ्रेश नहीं है, हम लोग इफ़ यू आर नॉट कूल अबाउट इट, विल नॉट बी एबल टू डिज़ाइन प्रॉपरली. And as I told you, our design is important because it is going to ultimately impact upon somebody's life. तो बड़े कूल माइंड से हम काम करते हैं. क्रिएटिविटी तभी आती है. क्रिएटिविटी तभी आती है. मैं 6:30 के बाद जब निकलता हूँ 7 बजे तक, मैं थोड़ा आधा घंटा लेट निकलता हूँ. एवरीबडी 7 बजे के बाद कोई बैठा होता ऑफिस में, मैं कहता हूँ रवाना हो जाए भाई, इमीडिएटली लीव ऑफिस.
आपसे
क्यों रुकना है तुझे?
आपसे बहुत कुछ है सीखने को.
क्यों रुकना? जा. योर वाइफ इज वेटिंग फॉर यू. आपकी बीवी वेट कर रही है, आपकी मम्मी वेट कर रही है, आपके बच्चे वेट कर रहे हैं. जाओ प्लीज़ जाओ, कल हो जाएगा काम. मेरे पास फ़ोन आएगा ना, मैं संभाल लूँगा. कि ड्राइंग सर 2 दिन ले ले, कोई टेंशन नहीं. यू डोंट डिस्टर्ब योर सेल्फ. तो मज़ा आता है काम करने. आई ऑल्सो लुक फॉरवर्ड टू कम टू माई ऑफिस बिकॉज ऑफ दिस एनर्जी विच इज प्रिवेलिंग इन द ऑफिस.
आई हैव अ सिमिलर relationship with my office. I really look forward to going to office. Not for any other reason. I think if you enjoy going to work, work will go wonderfully well.
This is ultimately one life.
Yeah.
आपको ये मैं हमेशा बोलता हूँ, आर्किटेक्चर हमारी जिंदगी जीने का एक जरिया है. हाँ, एक जी रहे हैं हम, पर अल्टीमेटली जिंदगी इंपॉर्टेंट है.
Yes.
जिंदगी इंपॉर्टेंट है, लाइफ इंपॉर्टेंट है. ये एक हमारा एक लाइवलीहुड, एक पाने का तरीका है. हम आर्किटेक्चर नहीं जी रहे हैं, हम हमारी ज़िंदगी जी रहे हैं. मेरा बड़ा फंडा क्लियर है. बड़े बड़े लोग बड़े वो अब ज़िंदगी आर्किटेक्ट, अरे साहब ठीक है, हम जिंदगी जी रहे हैं हमारी. फॉर अस द लाइफ इज़ फर्स्ट. लाइफ इज़ इंपॉर्टेंट एंड हाउ यू आर एंजॉइंग दैट लाइफ इज़ इंपॉर्टेंट. उस एंजॉयमेंट पे आर्किटेक्चर आ गया तो ठीक है, और ले लोगे तो बेहतर है, बट एंजॉय लाइफ को करो.
And that's reflected in all your work also.
Work hard. Work hard. There is no shortcut to hard work. Work hard. Party harder.
Thank you, Gyanendra ji.
Thank you so much for having me. It was interesting talking to you.
Yes.
And this candid discussion. Actually, generally, office hours में और ऐसा सब candid हो नहीं पाता है. But really appreciate your gesture and your...
No, I learned a lot from you.
Yeah.
I thoroughly enjoyed the conversation. No. And I'm sure...
And I really appreciate at Duro you're doing this amazing work. When it originally came to me, I was kind of like surprised. How come Duro is doing this? I mean, this should be done by some media house or something. But then told me the owner of Duro would be doing it. I was like, okay. And this is something different and something interesting. And I think... this is the way
for me this is a passion project.
Yeah.
And thank you.
No, I must congratulate you. And in fact, I am for architectural journalism so that people should know, and this should help the young people, the young boys, girls, students of architecture. So definitely my congratulations to you also to have started this kind of beautiful work.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.